Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia. We are day 2 with our live video series, which is our sort of behind the scenes look because of social distancing and all those kinds of things. So I'm going to jump right behind the camera now, and here's what we're going to talk about today. Whoa. All right, so we had a few complaints yesterday that I wasn't very steady, so we went out and got a Steadicam. We are going to talk about whatever you want to talk about today for a little bit shorter than yesterday. Tim had to bail on our video today. He couldn't make it in because Fridays are his day off and he had other commitments. So this is a bit of an Ask Me Anything about Kia. Now, of course, I've still got the Seltos here in my media room where I work. I'm also going to go to my EV, my own personal EV. I'm going to talk about some of the things I love about that. So if you have questions about Kia, if you want us to do videos in the future, I want you to tell me what you want us to do. So like I said, if you have a question about the Seltos, it's here with me right now. I'm going to head out to my EV, my own personal EV. I'm going to talk about some of the things I really like about that car. We are planning on doing more electric vehicle videos just like this. Probably starting Monday, we should do the EV next. So we'll sort of introduce some of the things that I like, but of course, if you want to know things, then we'll do that as well. And of course, you can comment long after this video has been live. So let's start by heading outside. We're going to go through a construction zone here, so bear with me. I will not show. Oh, it turns out I did show one of the electricians. Electricians were live on the internet. They don't even care. We're good. All right, we're going to hop outside here. We are wandering through what will become our video bay. But right now, I'm parking outside where I believe I still have internet. So there's my personal EV. We're going to talk inside because of the wind noise and everything out here. So we're going to show a few things that I like about this. And again, if you have questions, I want you to tell me what you think. In the meantime, I'm going to show you some cool features that maybe people don't know about the EVs. So we'll start the car up. If you've never been inside a Kia Soul EV, this is the premium version. I've got about 9,000 kilometers on this car now. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So I've got winter tires. It's running in cold weather. That's where we are right now. So I'm going to show you some of the things that you can look at through here. And we'll also show you, oh, it says my phone is, oh, so interesting. My Bluetooth phone hooked up. I wonder what happens there. Ah, yes, the Bluetooth picks it up as a call. Call is connected using hands-free. I wonder if you guys can hear me or not. Interesting, we'll find out. So we're learning as we go. Yesterday we had some complaints. There I am. Oh, there's my personal cell phone number. Let's keep that off the line. Here we go. Climate system in the EV. This is what you get. So you have a couple different features in the EV Premium that you don't have in the EV Limited. So EV Premium, you have this button right here. So that button is actually, I don't know if you can see it. We'll see if we can focus. I don't know that we can see it. There's a little tiny grid in the entire front windshield. I used it this morning because I came out of my garage and there was fog on the windshield. This is not in the EV Limited, so a little bit of a surprise for a lot of people. That is like a window grid, just like on the rear windows, and it defogs the entire window. It's available in other vehicles I've seen it in. When I used to do car reviews, I think the Land Rover was the first one I saw it in. Kind of a cool feature there. EV does not have dual zone temperature control. The other thing that's different in an EV is, if you look down here, again, my car's not the cleanest car right now. This is a charging pad for me in my EV Soul, but on a regular Soul, the charging pad is higher and separated. So make sure you speak about availability. Oh, there we go. Tim's on the line, so he's watching me. All right, so we'll talk about availability for sure. Let me show you also the gear shift on these. So a lot of people don't know that the gear shift is different in an EV than it is in a regular car. And again, we're going to talk about the EVs in general on Monday with Tim, but we're just going over my personal EV. Some people like these, some people don't. I like it. I think it's easy to use. There's drive, there's park, and of course reverse is the other way. And actually, I'll show you reverse right now, and I'll show you that big screen. So a couple things I like about the screen here. On a regular Kia in the past, you had sort of this size of a screen. Now you've got this size screen, and you can adjust the brightness and contrast, which means in different situations you can add some color just as you're backing up really quickly. So that works well. The other thing that people don't realize is there is a way to look directly down behind the car. So there's direct view. So if you had a hitch, of course this car wouldn't have a hitch, that would line up there. But there's my rear bumper straight down from the car. You can change the view. Not everybody knows that, but fun little hint, and probably some of your other cars will have that as well. I'm going to throw it back in park. I'm going to go back to my dash here. So, a couple things I want to show you in the dash. On the steering wheel here, I do have Smart Cruise on this car, and we can talk about that in a second if you want. This menu button here is how you work everything in the dash on a Kia. So, that menu button, if you look across, is going to go side to side on that top menu. And on this button is up and down on the menus, up and down as you can see. And of course, you can also hit the OK button to select. So we're going to go through a couple things here, and you can see what we're doing. So what I'm going to do is just take my personal phone number off the main screen so that I can show you what we're doing by doing that, and we'll switch that later. All right, so in the menus button, every Kia that you have that's modern, driver assistance settings, there's all kinds of them. Smart cruise control, reaction, driving assist functions, so leading vehicle departure warning, that kind of thing. Driver attention warnings, warning timings, warning volumes, forward safety, so of course active assist on the forward safety stuff. Lane safety, blind spot detection, all of that is in there. The other thing I want to show you is, if we go back, on an EV, you get a cool little menu here, which is your consumption. That's sort of similar to a gas consumption, but if you ever lend out your EV, you can also see how they've been driving, economical, normal, or aggressive. Now you can see normal and economical is primarily our way of driving in this car, and that gives us between, well, let's say 220 most of the winter, all the way up to 300 kilometers of range in the short range Kia Soul. So the other thing I want to show you is, if I can go back, I want to show you these, what they call paddle shifters in a regular car. They're not actually paddle shifters, so I'll give you the location of them just so you see. You can see my hand comes in, and there's a shifter right there. Now see the little diagram there? It's arrows one way or the other. I'll try to get the focus right. So there we go, arrow 1, and you've got extra arrow. Basically what this does is, I'm going to put it in drive for a second. You can see down in the, just above the odometer, it says auto. Now this car has an auto regeneration, but what we do in an EV is I can customize that by hitting the paddle shifter. So right side paddle shifter. I don't know if I can get right in there with this Steadicam that we've all been requesting. Let me see if I go down. Yeah, so if I hit the paddle shifter now on the left side, I can increase my regenerative braking right from the wheel. So if you've ever driven an EV, when you let off the throttle, which is the gas pedal, you end up with the ability to slow down without touching the brakes. What these paddle shifters do is, at a moment's notice, you can increase that. Now, what a lot of people don't know is where it says auto right now. I'm going to show you in the menus how to get to there. So let me put it back in park. In the menu item, if you're driving an EV, this may come in helpful to you. You go to convenience, you go down to smart regeneration. What that smart regeneration does is it uses the cruise control's radar plate. So what you're using to keep your distance in your smart cruise control, you can use that radar plate to see cars in front of you. So when you let off the gas, it will on its own increase the regeneration. So just like I showed you with the paddle shifters, if it sees a car right in front of me, so for instance right now, those, oops, let me go this way. Those Kia Souls parked in front of me. If I was driving right now 70 kilometers an hour and those cars started to slow down, it would kick it to the maximum regeneration. So in other words, it would turn on maximum regeneration all by itself until I got a little closer or slower, and then it would back off. So kind of cool ways you can, at the fingertips, just increase and decrease your regeneration. And of course, you can also set it to do it automatically. And the other little trick with these paddle shifters, if you want to know more, is if you hold down that paddle shifter like this, it will give you max regeneration at any point, unless you have about 95% or more battery life in the car. And if that's the case, right now I'm at 88%. But if you have 90% or 95% or more, it will not give you extra regeneration. It'll just give you a little bit less, and that's because there's no battery to regenerate. So I want to show you these screens now. Of course, you can see the map here. If you wanted the map full screen, you can do that. In these widescreen maps, you can do this. Now, what a lot of people don't know as well is when you have this section up, even if it's not an EV, you can swipe down or up and get all kinds of different options in the side there. So, of course, some of these are EV specific. Some of them is giving us weather like this. And there's your climate control system. So if you want to keep your climate control system up, you can do that on the side there as well. And of course the mapping, so you could switch this to the radio on this side and the map on that side, or of course the radio as well there. So that's some of the cool things that I like. Now Tim wants me to talk about availability. So we will talk about availability of these cars because we have them in stock right now. If you're interested in EV, I'm going to hop out. Hopefully you can still hear me. It's a little windy, but I think we're protected from the wind. If you're interested in buying an EV right now, we can get you one right now. You could literally go home with one today. So this is, again, my EV. They used to be hard to get. We used to have to show people my own personal EV. If you want one, we can get you this car today. We have, I think, at least 2 in stock. And literally you can come in, buy it in the morning, take it home that afternoon. So there's no waiting time at all on the Kia Soul long range. I believe we do have a little bit of a wait, but not very long on the short range. We can get them very quickly. And if you're looking for a Kia Niro, they are going to be a little further out. So Kia Niro is going to take a while to get into full production, or at least full ability for us to get it. We can still order one for you today, and you can connect with our sales team now. The reason we're doing some of these live videos is because we are in different times, so we're trying different things. If you want to know more about a car, feel free to connect with us. Our sales team is willing to work with you completely digitally. They can talk to you from your home. We can show you the cars here. If you want to come in and see it in person, we can show you the car in person, just the sales team going right to your house, just one person on one. You wouldn't have to come into our building. We are taking every precaution we can in our building, so if that's something that you would prefer to come into the building, we can do that. But of course, we have some social distancing rules. We will keep some distance and some crowds from you. But the big thing is we're doing what we can, and our sales team is willing to work with you. So big thing we're doing right now is if you want to lower your payments, we can talk to you about that as well. We've sort of been briefed on how we're going to do that. And of course, a lot of our vehicles have great finance rates, great lease rates right now. And a lot of people are finding that even if you have payments left to go, you can lower your payments today, and we can get you into a vehicle with no payments. And of course, there's no payments for 120 days. So much lower payments, but no payments for 120 days. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for today. Tim is back on Monday. We will do a proper walk around of another vehicle soon. And thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on Monday.